Hello, hey boomer listeners. Welcome to Monday. My name is Wendy Green and I am your host for Hey Boomer. And I promise that every Hey Boomer episode is going to inspire you in some way. It may inspire you to recognize your own relevance. It may inspire you with ideas for opportunities that are available to you in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. You may be inspired by some of the educational content we cover, and you also may be inspired to find ways to find peace within, accept where we are in life, and live life as best as you can. And those are my promises to you. And every week when I think about the Hey Boomer show, hi y'all, I think about how they are going to inspire you and inspire me. And our show today with Dr. Marilou Ryder and her sister Jessica Thompson, who are advocates for women, will inspire all of us, I am sure, because they are inspiring women. And I believe that as women become empowered, which is what Marilou and Jessica are about, they advocate for women. They want women to feel their confidence, to understand what it means to be an empowered woman. And I believe that as women, as we become more empowered and more confident, society becomes better. Do y'all agree with that? I think it's a true statement. They shared two of their books with me, Love Your Age, Girl, and Know Your Worth, Girl. And you can see I have them all marked up. And we're going to talk about those as well as some of the other books that they have shared about women's empowerment. And in these books, which they call Instagraphic books, they include things like a 30-day challenge. They encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. They have something they call woman tunes, which are like little cartoons, because it's important to find humor as well. And they have quotes from what they call their ambassadors. So we're going to get into all of that as we go forward. Help me grow. Hey Boomer, share this with your friends. Let them know about the heyboomer.biz website where they can subscribe, and they will get a blog post every week as well as the links to the show every week so that they know what's coming up, what they missed, and all that other good stuff that we share. So point people to heyboomer.biz and let's grow this audience and this movement. And I am ready to get into the show. So what I challenge you all to do that are listening is to give a shout out when Jessica or Marilou say something that resonates with you. Give us a shout out. Say that in the chat. Let us know what you found really exciting and important and inspiring, and ask questions. So let me bring Jessica and Marilou on. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Good to see you. I want to take a brief moment to read a brief biography from each of you, and then we're going to get started. So Marilou, Dr. Marilou Ryder, she offers readers and audiences compelling research and tools to lead a more confident and empowered life. As an educator with over a decade as a CEO in a leading large school district, Dr. Ryder has been on the front line of changing nature of women in the workplace. As a co-author for the Amazon bestseller, Don't Forget Your Sweater, Girl, Sister to Sisters, Secrets for Aging and Purpose and Humor, Ryder uses personal stories from women 60 years of age and older. In fact, there are two centenarians that are quoted in this book to provide insight into aging and how women stay motivated and relevant in their senior years. Her new book, co-authored with her sister, Don't Forget Your Lipstick Girl, Sister to Sister Secrets for Gaining Confidence, Courage, and Power, uses interviews and research from over 2 decades of study to provide insight on how women can attain confidence, to become empowered both at work and in their personal environments. Jessica Thompson is a graduate of Rochester Institute of Technology. She was born in Syracuse, New York, and currently lives in Naples, Florida. Jessica worked for 12 years as a buyer and merchandise manager for major department stores in Chicago and Boston. And then she transitioned to a career in the financial industry, working for a large Boston bank as a branch manager and a mortgage loan officer. While raising her 2 daughters, Jessica developed her creative passions for fashion design and home decorating. And when Jessica's daughters entered college, she fulfilled another lifelong love, that of sports. She began coaching field hockey and lacrosse for young girls in 2 public school districts. And Jessica finds a true sense of reward from this career as her players enter college and play their sport in the NCAA. That's awesome. Jessica is an avid female golfer with a handicap of 12 at 61. Is that right, Jessica?
64.
At 64.
Yeah.
So she is proud that she has passed this down to her daughters who play better golf than she plays.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome. They do, huh? They keep you on your toes. So you two have very different backgrounds, academia and the corporate world. When did you guys realize that you both were interested in female empowerment, women's building their confidence?
Well, I could begin, Wendy. And first of all, thank you for having us on here today. It's just an honor for the 2 of us to join you. We love your podcast, and it's just you have a great following. So thanks again for having us. So I've been involved in women's issues my entire life, as I know my sister has too, raising her 2 daughters and just being out there in the corporate world. I've been involved in it. I'll start with a quick story, and then I'll turn it over to Jessica for how we actually decided to partner up and be partners in crime on this book. When I was about 6 years old, long time ago, and a lot of your readers still resonate with them, I wanted to be on the baseball team that my dad sponsored. He was he had 5 daughters, actually 6 daughters, no sons, but he sponsored a little league team as part of Optimist Club. And I asked them if I could be on the team because I used to play with the kids after school. And he said, well, he'd go ask his corporate people, the people that were responsible for the decision. But in the meantime, I went and decided to cut my hair like a boy because I didn't think he was going to let me on the team. And I went in the bathroom and cut my hair just totally off, like there was no hair. I had pigtails at the time, and I came out and it was, and my father says, no, I'm really sorry. This team is only for boys. So marching forward, I think a lot of women in your audience can resonate with this, but marching forward, I've always been involved, just kind of knowing that women needed to up the ante to gain access to what the male counterpart currently has. So Jess, I'm going to turn this over to you for why we decided to write this book.
Well, I think in my perspective, just turning the age of 60, my husband retired and I was 60 and thinking, gee, I'd stopped coaching actually for a period of time. And then we decided to move to Naples to retire. And I kept thinking, well, I got another coaching opportunity in a community high school down here and did that. And then I thought, well, it's too hot to be outside. So I think I really want to connect with my sister because I knew that she was writing books. And I said, I think I could help you with this project. And I needed a purpose in my life. And I felt that this was a very encouraging moment for me to come together with Marilou, come in and pretty much on the creative side of this and reaching out and trying to discover some women that would contribute to our purpose. And that was how to move gracefully and navigate your life through your next decades, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s even. And so we did. We marched on together. We started electronically coast to coast, and then we did meet up one time, and we managed to put together 2 lovely women who were 100 years old. And I think at that point I knew this was my next career. So, and I'm enjoying it an awful lot. It never ends.
And I think that is so important to recognize that we all need to find a purpose. I think that happens to many of us when we hit our 60s. And how cool that you were able to partner with Marilou on that.
Mm-hmm.
And Marilou, you've been doing a lot of research in this area for many, many years. How did you get started in that?
Well, I didn't start until, of course, I shared my story about how women kind of always lag behind, but I didn't really start my research until I became a school principal and went to a meeting. And that was a fairly easy job to obtain. I knew I wanted to be a school principal, school administrator, even though when you look back at teaching, about 80% of the teachers are all female. So I didn't think much about becoming a school principal until I went to my first meeting. And I looked around the room at all the other school principals, and I was a secondary principal at the time. And I was basically, there's only 2 females in the room of about 40 men. And it kind of dawned on me. So I started interviewing women about their careers. And then it morphed into my current work now where I'm a professor. And so now I really have hands-on exciting research. I'm working with a lot of young women on this very issue about women gaining empowerment and purpose in their lives. And it's just been just an exciting purpose for me personally.
So I'm curious, because you started, it sounds like, with the focus on our next chapter, right? So what is life like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond? And that's something that we can all relate to. How different is it when you're talking to the young women and their purpose and their confidence?
Well, it really isn't any different. It's and that brings us to another book that we wrote. We just recently, I'd say this book was launched, about, correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, about 3 months ago. I'm going to hold it up here for everybody. It's called Show Your Worth, Girl. Do
you want me to share your graphic?
No, that's okay right now. It's called Show Your Worth. And this is a book for teen girls. So it hit me in my research, and then also Jessica and I were thinking about this. We talked to a lot of women in their 60s and above, and then we went out and interviewed and used a lot of my research on women in the 20 and above, trying to maintain homes, buy houses, get good jobs, raise a family. That generation, and then all of a sudden it hit me that, oh my word, we need to do a 180 and turn around and look at these young women, because they are the women right now. They're the females out there right now that I firmly believe are going to make the difference for all women. And so our goal now, I know Jessica and I are really focused on this teen generation. I'm currently working with a group of women, and we're actually going to be sponsoring a conference for teen girls. So there's a whole movement out there to help these teen girls, and they suffer from the same lack of confidence, lack of self-advocacy, lack of good communication skills. And so we are really focused on that right now, in addition to all the other women out there.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Jessica on your perspective on this.
Well, I do believe that, we have a really strong platform now, Sister to Sister Secrets. And it all started with us being in the older generation. And so we have, it's a full circle, because each one of us has something to give to the next generation. The younger generation, I am learning so much from that generation right now. There's a situation I'm in a work environment, and I'm with people who are between the age of 25 and 32. And they are so focused and so into the internet and the technology. They're so skilled. And I come in and I give them my maybe sales ability, my personal ability out on the selling floor. So there's 2 parts of this whole situation, that environment I'm in. So I'm learning from them. They're learning from me. And it's amazing how we get along and how kind and respectful we are to one another. So I do believe that our generation, I'm 64, 70s and 80s. I'm with these women a lot in my environment here in Florida, and we're very active. We give back, we volunteer, and we don't just volunteer at like a kindergarten level. We are now branching out, like Marilou said. I'm interested in a teenage group, and I went as an adult to maybe mentor and start getting involved with a new book, and it all started with the sweater book, personally. The biggest thing I learned in the sweater book was that a woman we interviewed was 82, and she turned the table when I was interviewing her. She turned the table on me and said, "Jessica, what do you most feel for love?" Being 64, she's 82, and I said that I won't have what you had. I won't have 12 grandchildren. I won't see my daughters get married. And she said, "You won't. You will never have that, because those generations are so different than my generation was. You may have 1 or 2 grandchildren. Your daughters may never get married. You don't know. It's not like it used to be. In that respect, it's very different." So navigating, I think, lifestyles are they're generational, and we all have something to give one another.
Right. I think it is different for the younger generation, that we have younger women delaying marriage longer and feeling, much more independent in that way. Of course, we had the Me Too movement, which certainly wasn't part of our generation. And, so I do think there are differences, and we have paved the way for women, and women ahead of us paved the way for us. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So you brought up the sweater book. I do want to know about that. It's aging with purpose and humor. And I think it also feeds into this Love Your Age, Girl. So can you talk to us about what you mean, aging with purpose and humor?
I can. It's a story again. I'm a great storyteller. I retired unexpectedly. I was a school superintendent, and I loved every second of it. You get dressed up, you go to work, everybody, you have all this agency. I mean, it's just to talk about a purpose in life. And then about a week later, some new political things came in, and so I decided to retire. And I've never in my life been a person without a plan. Talk about a man with a plan. I was a woman with a plan ready to go. But here I sat, no plan. I'm retired, officially retired, and my husband takes me to Costco. Never been to Costco. Too busy to go to Costco. I'm in Costco, and I've got these big, huge, puffy sneakers on. I got a jogging suit on. And I'm just getting in line for this chicken thing. You know how they give the free samples?
Right.
And I immediately see everybody all like running around, and I start getting them organized, because, that's my instincts, to organize people in line. And then all of a sudden I get slammed in the back of my foot with a cart, and I pull away and I start walking the aisles, and I have a panic attack. I mean, I'm kind of like, oh my God, look at me. One minute I'm like in a high heels and dress, and I have all this agency, and now I'm slung over this huge super shopping cart. So that's where I knew that I had to take stock of myself, and I needed to investigate this aging thing, because I was 62 at the time. I'm now 72. It's 10 years later. And I called my sister. There she is, right up there. And I said, "Oh my God, I'm old. What am I going to do? I don't have a plan." And she also said, "Well, I'm old too. Let me see what we can do." And that's where we really kind of thought, let's go write the book we always wanted to read. And we did that.
And we started to change the conversation for women and girls. I think that was the biggest thing. I mean, it was always in front of me as a woman growing up, and as and moving on and raising 2 daughters who are now in their 30s. It was always in front of me, and I always, tried to express it, but it was always hard to express it. I mean, I didn't have the confidence to get out there and put myself out there and make decisions quickly and be confident that I did the right thing. So in a way, these books are us speaking about certain issues that maybe we never could really talk about. And we're voicing some good, positive messages to all women, every single age. We've linked everyone together with this platform now. It's actually, we have 6 books that tie in every single age group of females that you see now. So somewhere along the line, someone will pick up the book, and that'll make their day special for them. It'll make them improve themselves in one way or another. So that's how we just call it. I call it a really strong platform for women changing the conversation. And,
so take me on the journey. So what did you learn first when you were writing Sisters to Sisters? What were some of your takeaways and learnings from that? Sisters to Sisters. I'm sorry, the sweater book.
Sweater book. Well, I was 10 years older than Jessica, and I was really fearing aging. I also was had been hired when we were writing the book as a professor for a university. So it was just this nagging thing. It was interesting. People started asking me all the time when I was going to retire, and I go, "What do you mean? When are you going to retire? I just got the job." So that ageism thing was very pervasive in my life, that ageism was alive and well. And so I learned a lot from these women that we interviewed. We interviewed over 60 to 70 women that they really said, don't think about being old. Don't admit to being old. Just little tiny things that really, that I have incorporated in my daily life today. Don't dress like an old lady. Almost every one of our women that we interviewed face to face was dressed up to the, just really good. Even if they were in a jogging suit, it was the best jogging suit they owned. Their hair was done, they had lipstick on. Get off the computer, get off the TV, get out there and try to meet people. And the one thing that is just never ended for me is that, and even in the research, did you know that 1 out of 3 women over 60 will fall and break a bone?
No.
And that can happen stepping off for curbs and not looking, and that can happen with a throw rug. Something as simple as that. Just little things like that have changed the perspective for how I move into my next decade of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so then the next book you wrote after that was which one?
Don't Forget Your Lipstick, Girl.
Right.
And okay. And what age group was that geared to, Jessica?
Oh, anyone over the age of 20 who is career-oriented, family-oriented, has a independent lifestyle by themselves or with other partners. It really caters to anyone who needs to be encouraged, gain confidence, become more empowered with those specific parts of their lives. And Marilou was very well organized for this particular book. I mean, she'd done so much research on it. So we have an incredible lineup of tips, truths, hints, power moves on how to help women who are juggling so many different things in the points of their lives right now. And I'm witnessing it with my own 2 daughters. So I see it as again, it's a tool. It's something to make a female better at what they're doing, and knowing that it's okay if you do fail, as long as you're trying things and you're out there and you're putting yourself out, and that you're not alone. You are not alone at all. So Mary had a lot to contribute to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, so it sounds like the big learning in that book was the courage and the empowerment, and that you can fail, it's okay, and don't worry, you're not alone. There is a cohort of other women out there to help you. Is that right?
Right. We interviewed women here. Each one is different. I mean, we started, I interviewed a young girl who was 21, 22, and she was a sheet metal worker, and how it was for her, this was what she decided to do with her life. She went to the trade school, and she knew this is what she wanted to do, because she would like to be a 4-woman, 4-man, 4-woman. And the environment that she went through, there were 4 girls with 280 men on the site. So she gave us a little bit of information of what that was like. But then we went all the way along to the other end of the perspective, where there were women that were in their beginning 60s that had, powerful careers, and what it was like for them, all those years juggling with children, and how to get the top job when they're up against a man. And Marilou has a lot to say about that in the book, sharing her experiences. So it's a powerful book, and it's also a great tool for all women.
Yes, Wednesday, I took all the research-based strategies that were culled from the research, the literature, all my formal research, and then we collated those with what the women said, which was just really stunning. Something as simple as a habit that women have is, a lot of times they'll say, well, I'm just a mom. or I'm just a mother, like I'm not important, or, you know, even in a job, they'll say, well, I'm just a director. And so that kind of a little tip for women, you know, you're not just anything, you're something special. Own yourself, you know, own who you are and be proud of it. And you'd be surprised how women, just knowing that they say that they undermine who they are, it talks down to their confidence and chips away at it. So yeah, the tips are stunning. And we've just recently culled all the tips and put them into an ebook for people to download on their Kindle. So
nice.
For easy access. Yeah. So that was another project that we've engaged in.
And that's
that book is called Superpower Tips.
Right. That'll really catch your eye. It's great. I mean, it's very powerful, and it's done with grace and intelligence and respect for all women. So someone, you know, everybody, there's something in there for everyone.
And Heidi says that this is very inspirational, and it could be good for men too, because there are men that need an extra boost in confidence as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our next book. Don't forget those women, man.
But you know, there's one woman that we interviewed in Don't Forget Your Lipstick Girl. She's again probably in her 30s. That she said that men are very important in this whole movement, because obviously we learn from them because they've done it very well, and but we need them to change the conversation for women and girls too. We need to have them listen to us and participate. And we don't need to close them out of it. She was very adamant about that. And I really respected her viewpoint on it.
Well, in one of these books, you talk about how men will find men lower down on the job scale, whatever, to mentor and boost up. Right. And women don't do that as well for other women, but men don't do that for women either.
No. And I think the time, it is changing. It is happening more often, because through social media, through television and everything, there's a lot of newsworthy items being put out there now about how to do this, and how we do have role models that are very visible to us. I'm saying us as women, but you're right. I mean, you know, a man will groom another man to come in and take over their spot. And my two daughters see it in their environments, and it's not just where they work, but all of their friends see this. But then again, they all have strong relationships with men, and they all get along. But you know, the work environment can be tricky. It can be tricky, but I think women are pretty strong, and they're learning how to handle it.
Yeah, that's where I really get started on this, Wendy, is I'm in the educational arena, and it's a very conservative field, like banking and insurance. And so you do see that men are not so willing to bring women up. They are out there in the media. When you see, you know, your newscasters, you see more women, it's equal access to those positions. But the fact is that 80% of the teaching force are females. And when you look at the CEOs across in the United States that are held by women, the superintendency, it hovers around 18 to 22%. And so just yesterday, I saw a school district where there was a former superintendent, and he was leaving, and he brought up his cohort, another male. So in the conservative professions, yes, we're going to have to really roll our sleeves up, and the women who are currently hold positions of power, we are really going to have to help other women get access to those positions. So again, full circle, yeah, absolutely. We need to reach out to those women and do everything we can to help them.
I want to read a page from the Know Your Worth Girl. It's about comfort zones. And it says, a crippling fear that prevents women from embracing change is leaving one's comfort zone. Let's face it, change is difficult. Think, in the end, do you want to be standing there with nothing accomplished because you feared taking a chance? I wanted to ask about comfort zones because, you hear that a lot. And I mean, into our 60s, 70s, and 80s, do we still need to stretch our comfort zones?
Yes, and our world gets very, very confining. Our sphere of influence becomes smaller the older we get. And I find that I was a great risk taker in my 50s and 60s, and now I'm in my 70s. So I have to be super vigilant because I am a little afraid to leave my comfort zone, to travel abroad or maybe take on a new project. So yeah, you have to, I think as the older we get, know that your sphere of influence tightens in because of a lot of times just lack of energy, lack of, staying power. So just to recognize, am I just sitting here when I could be taking that step forward? What's causing me not to take that chance? How about you, Jess?
Well, I see my environment is a lot smaller than it was before. I do believe that the 18-month of the COVID has probably done a lot to me because of that. And I passed up going over to see my daughter in London because I'm fearful of that right now. There will be the right time to do it, and it's around the corner. But I do think that I'm like Marilou. I don't put myself out there as much as I used to. I'm trying to. I mean, trying new things physically and mentally, taking on a new job, playing a new sport, meeting new women. And I do believe that it's healthy to do all of this for all of us. You have to work at it too. You can't just have a friend and not work at that friendship, or have a job and not work at that job to make you better than ever. And I just started a new position, and it's just a part-time job, but it's in the environment of golf, and I love that. But this weekend, I told the people I worked with, I think I turned the corner. I know how to navigate this POS system and this internet system that we're working with. And they said, well, we knew you could. We were so happy you're here. And again, they're like half my age. So I was really proud of myself for doing that and making myself go get that job. Just because it's not that I have to have the job, but it was something, 2 or 3 days a week. I get out, I get up, I'm with younger people, I'm in the environment I like. So I think women at our age and older, it doesn't come to you. You have to go get it. You have to put your first foot forward and go get what you want to do. And I mean, as long as you have your health, there's no reason not to.
And I think, we have to push ourselves, and we all hit that point where it's not comfortable and we're tired and our energy level is lower. But I think if you also have that sphere of your supporters around you, you're not alone, like you said, I think that makes it more possible to be brave and to stretch those comfort zones a little bit. What do y'all think about that?
Oh, that's so true. When I retired from the superintendency, I literally looked around and I didn't have any girlfriends, so to speak. And it was kind of pathetic. I was like, okay, I got a couple of superintendent friends, but I don't know if we have a lot in common now. They live far away. I actually took Jessica's advice, and I have another sister too. Her name's Sarah. She said, get out there in the neighborhood with your dog and meet people. And, I did. I took the dog out, and I'm like the neighborhood hit now. I've met so many people with this dog because I'm a little bit shy. I know that's hard to believe, but the dog helped. And now I know people in the neighborhood, and Jessica's right. You have to, it's not going to come to you. You have to just take that step.
It's like,
and that's with anything.
It's like another career, really. I mean, especially if one is retired, and I'm sure they plan, oh, well, let's redo our kitchen or let's redo our bathroom, and it's all focused in 3 months, it's done. Okay, now what do we do? Well, let's go travel. Okay, that trip's over with. Now what do we do? I think if you make some commitments to things too, long-term commitments, that maybe you're doing something once a week, the same all the time. Maybe it's you join a book club, or maybe you start to ride a Peloton bike, for an hour, twice a week or something. Get yourself so that you are every day, you make yourself go outside and do something, or get in your car and just go up and to the library and check out a book, or go to the beach and take a walk. But I do believe that you do need to surround yourself with women, and you must have a lot of girlfriends. And I have to say that I've done it. Now, I moved down here. I didn't know anybody but maybe 3 people when I retired with my husband. And I have so many good girlfriends now, only because I did things that were uncomfortable. I put myself out there and outside of my comfort zone, but in the long run, it made me happy.
Well, I'm shy and I have 3 girlfriends, but I'm happy. And so she's right. You got to have those women friends.
May I add one thing, Wendy?
Yeah, sure.
One thing about the lipstick, not the lipstick book, but the sweater book that, and I bring it up to Marilou a lot, and is that I found a common denominator with all the women that we interviewed, that we talked to, that they have a common denominator of spiritual wealth of some sort in their life, whether it's their religion, whether it's their habitat, whether it's the environment, whether it's their families. It's something that gives them that extra comfort feeling in their own mind, in their own space. They all talked about it, and they all had different definitions of what their spiritual wealth was. And it never really was money, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, and I'm more like you, Marilou. I have a few friends because I just feel like it takes energy to have friends. But I think you're right, Jessica, having that spiritual connection where you feel like you can be vulnerable with these people, that you feel like you can get honest feedback and give honest feedback and laugh, and all of that makes it a more whole, important friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's a question that's come in. It says, have you found that people underestimate you because of your age even more than the sexism you experienced when you were younger?
I haven't. I'm 72, and I think a lot about that 72. And I keep saying it, but no, I haven't, because I really deliver. But like I say, they do ask me when I'm going to retire all the time, just because probably they're waiting for jobs to open up for younger people. But no, I haven't felt that. And I think the thing about being a female, and this is really interesting. I talked to a woman the other day, and she said, when women get older, they really do lose their looks and their vitality and the things that just made them so sparkling. And she says, and when men get older, they do too, but it doesn't harm them as much as a female. And I think there's a little bit of credence to that. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she said, I think I'm going to get a facelift. And I said, you're 78. Why would you get a facelift? She said, because I really want to be vibrant again like I used to be. And so I spent some time, coaching her through a non-facelift at the time. But again, that beauty part, I think that's the only aspect that can hold us back as aging women.
What about you, Jessica?
Well, I definitely agree with Marilou on that, with the aging and how you look, and you change. You definitely change, and it's more effect. The cause and effect is definitely more out there for women than it is for men. It's very difficult. And if you're looking for certain opportunities, or the way people handle you, whether you're out in a restaurant or something, you're treated, I do believe you are treated a little bit different. But and the sexism thing, I don't know, it's balanced out, I think. Those were big challenges when we were younger. And I think I was sort of strong, maybe too strong sometimes, and I still am. And I have to bite my tongue a lot and just handle myself gracefully and navigate out of the situation comfortably. But it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. It's gotten better. The sexism part for me as a woman, I'm stronger again. I say that I have more knowledge to be able to talk about it better and hold my ground, so to speak. But I don't see it with, like, I'm in this environment where I'm working. I'm not treated any differently. Maybe because of my age. That's all. That I'm not treated any different because I'm a woman. But they're sensitive to my age, which I believe is that's kind. And I'm happy to have it that way.
Yeah, and I think that's really what the question was. Are you experiencing a difference in the way people treat you in the job market, if you are looking for a job, just out in public because of your age?
Well, I know I was in London, and whenever I got on that train, every young man stood up and gave me their seat. So,
they gave it to Mary Lou, but they didn't give it to me.
I know, we were together. I think they thought she was my daughter. But I always say, I got a lot of advice from women, wear great colors, vibrant colors. So people are looking at my dress, they're not saying, oh, wow, look at how old she is. Get a good haircut. If there's anything I can recommend to women is spend money on getting a good haircut. It can take you through so much. Just with that great haircut, it gives you confidence. You look great.
So would you guys like to share the screen and show the books?
I would love to.
Sure.
Let's do that. So, wrong one. Let me stop that and we'll go to the right one. Sorry about that. So the right one is this one, the Sister to Sister series. There you go. So can you talk about that a little bit?
I can. We started out with Don't Forget Your Sweater Girl. And recently we've given our covers a facelift because we've decided to put them all under the umbrella of the Sister to Sister series. So Don't Forget Your Sweater Girl is for women who are, I'd say, 50 and above. I had a 45-year-old say, oh my word, there's such good stuff in here. But basically it's for the senior woman. Don't Forget Your Lipstick Girl is for women, I'd say 18 and above. Got a lot of good career moves, a lot of good personal power moves for your home environment, for just building your confidence. Super power moves culls all of the power tips from Don't Forget Your Lipstick Girl, in addition to some new ones, in an easy to read format for people to just basically go and get some good moves to gain presence and influence others in the world. And then Know Your Worth, Show Your Worth, and Love Your Age are books that we call Instagraphics. They're easy to read. You can carry them in your purse or backpack. Know Your Worth is for 18 and above. Show Your Worth is for teen girls, 11 to 18. And Love Your Age is for 50 and above. And so the Instagraphic is a real quick read. It's got the power tips in it. It's got the woman tunes. It's got quotes. It's got tips. It's got fun. And the people who have given us reviews just say that they really enjoy having these little books. And they're great gift books. I just had a friend purchase Know Your Worth Girl for her entire book club, and which was a huge group of people.
I think it will be a fun gift for graduates as well.
Oh, absolutely.
High school graduates and college graduates. And, it's easy. Like I have all these little markers. So if I just need a little pick me up, I can just say, oh, let's see. My challenge today is to go a full day without watching TV.
Right.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
And the other thing too is that we know what time of year this is. This is October. We've got 2 more months. These are great gift giving books, especially for women's little groups. I know we have a birthday club and there's about 6 of us, and that's what they'll probably be getting would be the Love Your Age Girl book. But we're available. We can ship the books, and that's a good thing right now because we are hearing that Christmas could be difficult. So we have them. They're available. They're not on a ship off the coast of Mary Lou's home. They're not on a tanker or in a crate. So, they're fun. They're a great way to celebrate your relationship with another woman or girl or family, mother, daughter, aunt, sister.
And they are on Amazon.com under the umbrella of Sister to Sisters.
Okay. And Beth, I love your comment. She says, and wear bright lipstick. Her good friend always wore a lipstick called Lady Danger.
Yeah.
You're going to put on your lipstick, Jessica.
Never leave home without it.
That's right.
Never.
So the Hey Boomer Show is about inspiring and motivating people who are 55 and older. And so I would like you to both leave us with a couple of takeaways from all that we've talked about today. And maybe even if we haven't covered it today, something that you would like to leave for the audience.
Yes. Be your best self on a good day. Every day is not going to be a great day. And I think that if we can just recognize that you harness that internal power within yourself to be your best self, look over your shoulder, help other women gain access to whatever they need, and be your best friend. Know your worth and know that you are really something.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Marilou, big sister, but you just stole my idea. But anyways, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I would have to say, everybody hold hands, make a big circle, and transmit all of our thoughts and things together, bring us all together. We're all sisters, every single woman. We all have something in common. We all are of the same make, and just share each other and learn from one another and celebrate one another and encourage one another, stand by each other, speak together, and just stay tuned and move forward. Don't look back. You don't have that anymore. We look forward.
Those are great, both of you. Thank you. So I'm sharing your website, sister2sistersecrets.com. Then you can also find them on Instagram with @sister2 sister secrets. That's on Instagram. And Marilou is very active on LinkedIn. If you can't find with this link, you can just look up Marilou Ryder and you can find her there. I will also put these links in the chat so that you can find them there. So thank you, ladies, so much for what you shared with us today. This was really powerful and inspiring.
Thank you, Wendy, for having us.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Let me briefly tell you who's coming up next week. Next week, we're going to talk about sustainable investing with Francie Heller. And so what is sustainable investing, you ask? Well, it's about investing in progress and recognizing that companies solving the world's biggest challenges can be best positioned to grow. And so investing in those companies could be good for your portfolio. Francie has over 30 years of financial experience spanning both public and private sector. And I am going to be posting a poll on both Facebook and LinkedIn, and we will use some of the answers from that poll to help facilitate our discussion. So look for that and participate with us. So thank you all for tuning in today. I know that your time is valuable, and I'm glad that you all found this to be a good show. Thank you for that. And help me grow the audience. Go ahead and ask your friends to go to heyboomer.biz and subscribe so that they can be on the email list and receive all of the updates and links to the upcoming shows. And remember that we are never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. Thank you again, Marilou and Jessica. My name is Wendy Green, and this has been